Okay, hon, you ready? Deep breath.
You got this.
Whenever you're ready.
I'd like for all of you to close your eyes for a moment. Imagine something that makes you smile, whether it's family or friends, a piece of art, a place. My name is Ariana, and also you can open your eyes, sorry. My name is Ariana, and this is the photo I chose to present and to have this speech on. And to me, it signifies happiness. In order for you to understand how this image signifies happiness, I'll be talking about the significance of the portrayal of nature as well as what it reminds me of. To begin discussing why this photo signifies happiness, first I will first describe what the portrayal of nature means, focusing on my love of nature and also and how the nature specifically is portrayed in this photo. So as you can see, it's a really bright image. It's an animation as well. And I think that makes the image more powerful because this is a very beautiful animation, but things like this exist in our day-to-day lives. Like, we live on a planet that produces berries that are this color. And I think that's amazing. I think about that all the time. I'm like, wow, the earth is really beautiful. And I love nature. It's a place where I feel peace and I feel happiness. And especially when I'm not feeling so well, I'll look at an image like this and be reminded of what a wonderful place I live in and what wonderful things exist despite any obstacles. Second, the image itself is so bright and lovely that it just puts me in a good mood. Versus if this image was more gray and dark, it wouldn't have the same emotional impact it has with how it's presented here. So now that I've talked about the portrayal of nature in the image, I will discuss what it reminds me of. And I will focus on a memory that it reminds me of, as well as a phrase that it reminds me of. So this image reminds me of where I grew up, I guess, in Vancouver, Canada. I lived in this little apartment that was in the city, but Vancouver's layout is a way where you're in the city, but there's also nature all around you. And so I lived in this apartment, and it was by a river. And every summer, the blackberries would grow. And I just have so many fond memories of going by the river, picking blackberries with my family, and we would be there for so long that our hands would be stained red from the juice and stuff. And I think it pertains to this photo, that memory pertains to this photo because I think happiness is being surrounded by things and people you love, and that's what I feel like this photo, because it reminds me of that, it represents happiness. Second, this photo is a snapshot from something I really, really enjoy. I really like the series Anne of Green Gables, and this is from the anime adaptation of it, and it captures the entire essence of the book really, really well. And the whole, in the series and in the adaptation, there's a very strong message of appreciating the small things in life. And that's what this photo also reminds me of, and that's why it signifies happiness, because it reminds me of the small things that are waiting for me to see them as long as I open my eyes and look for them. So to wrap up this speech, I told you about how this photo portrays nature and what it reminds me of. These 2 points explain how the photo signifies happiness. To me, in the beginning of my speech, I asked you all to think about something that would make me smile, whether it was a person, a place, or a thing. And this is the image that came to my mind.